You may be surprised to see a giant red garden shovel if you're passing along Park Avenue around 53rd Street in Manhattan these days.
It's a 16-foot sculpture of a garden trowel. And one of the things that you can see that Claes Oldenburg and Coosje play with, the idea of scale. And so taking something that we're used to seeing on a very small scale and making it very large.
Oldenburg was a pretty down-to-earth guy, so to speak.
He said he liked this work because it's a sculpture that doesn't need a pedestal. It just goes right into the ground.
Oldenburg was born in Sweden, grew up in Chicago, became an artist, and then lived in New York City for almost 70 years until he died in 2022. Jacob King, the founder of Fine Art Concepts, curated this exhibit of work by Oldenburg and his second wife and collaborator, Coosje van Bruggen. King was pretty sure the trowel called Plantois would be a hit.
And here at Lever House, it's right next to their real planter.
Exactly, which is also, this is an amazing, landmark building. A many first. It's the first building in New York City with a glass curtain wall. It's also the first time that anyone had done an indoor-outdoor planter. So you see behind me here, the planter actually goes from inside the lobby into outside. And the building is really radical for the way it integrated indoor and outdoor space. And so we are trying very much with the works to play off of the architecture.
Oldenburg and van Bruggen were famous for many large sculptures. The Spoon Bridge and Cherry in Minneapolis, shuttlecocks in Kansas City, Missouri, shown as if giants had finished a badminton game, Cupid's Span near the Bay Bridge in San Francisco, a huge match cover in Barcelona, and the 45-foot-tall clothespin in Philadelphia, where the spring in the middle shows the year of the Declaration of Independence, 76. Right now at Lever House, there's a giant hanky as an homage to someone the artists admired.
And this is based on many images of the German-American architect Mies van der Rohe, who always had this characteristic pocket handkerchief coming out of his shirt.
And that's kind of significant in terms of where we are, right?
We are, yeah. Right across the street from us is the Seagram building. And the Seagram building was designed by Mies van der Rohe, and this handkerchief is kind of blowing in that direction.
What are we seeing here in the back?
What you're seeing is actually, this is the pocket of a man's suit jacket. And so this part will be stitched to the back of the jacket. And then if you imagine kind of what the handkerchief might look like inside of the pocket.
In 1961, Oldenburg made quite a splash by creating the store in a real storefront. And he filled it with artistic plaster versions of real foods and groceries, like a pile of toast and a bag of candy. And people could come in and purchase these pieces. So the store was dynamic art, changing all the time as people made their purchases.
In 1966, he went in a different direction.
Part of the beauty of the work is this kind of the strangeness of it. You think of a saw as something that's like very hard and cuts through something and solid and strong. And what he's done is he's rendered a saw in this very thin, almost sheer fabric. And so it's like flaccid, it just drapes onto the floor.
Did he enjoy doing this kind of work and surprising people with this?
I think he did very much, yeah. Yeah, and there's a really amazing public sculpture that he did, I think in the 90s, called Saw Sawing, that's installed in Tokyo, and it's a giant saw that's like going into the ground. And so he kind of returned to the same motifs throughout his career in different ways.
Are there other soft sculptures around?
There are a lot, and you can see, MoMA and the Whitney have incredible ones. They have a soft toilet, they have a soft hamburger. In the Western world, sculpture was always something that was hard and solid, and Oldenburg introduced a new language into the medium of sculpture, the idea of something that's soft. These vitrines were originally built by Lever brothers, who built the building to display consumer products that they manufactured. So they would use these to show lipstick or new kinds of soap.
These cases.
These cases that we're looking at here. And we've used them now to display these small-scale sculptures by Claes Oldenburg and Coosje van Bruggen. In this vitrine here, we have a sculpture of a toothpaste tube. The title of this is Tube Supported by Its Own Contents.
And the toothbrush is, it's got the toothpick and everything.
Yeah, and then you see how he's made the toothpaste out of this a rope that he's painted pink, and then the toothbrush is made of cardboard.
There are also amazing sketches, including one about ice cream.
It's a proposal from 1961 by Claes Oldenburg to replace the Pan Am building with a giant Good Humor bar. And you can see here there's like a little bite that's been taken out of the corner of the bar, and that they would kind of reroute traffic along Park Avenue through that bite. In the 60s, they called them colossal monuments, and there were these proposals that were never realized for these giant public artworks.
Oldenburg and van Bruggen also did a witty piece with a bow tie coming off a collar at the end of a night.
This originally was designed to be in front of the Walt Disney Concert Hall in Los Angeles. It was going to be 65 feet tall. And I think it was never fabricated. There was difficulties with it, technically with making it, but this is a smaller scale version of it. And it's pretty funny, the idea of the bow with this kind of like soft fabric, and it becomes this really hard, aggressive thing with these angles shooting out like it's exploding.
So we like taking hard things and making them soft, and making soft things and making them hard.
I think that's very true, yeah. It's taking these things that are very familiar and, you know, rendering them to kind of look at things in a different light.
The exhibition at Lever House is presented by Brookfield Properties and Waterman Clark in partnership with Paula Cooper Gallery. It's free, open to the public, and set to go through at least November. I'm Donna Hanover for Arts in the City.